Oh yeah, it showed up the first time. I'm sorry for flip-flopping back and forth in between my streaming times. It's just I can never stream during the day regularly on weekends. Due to family or something else. We'll see how long this goes though. The weird thing about this game was when I closed out of the application the other day, right? And I had added that guy that I said I was going to add after closing out of the game. And I don't know, while doing that, I just so happened to go on my friends list and removed a couple of people that hadn't been on there or had never talked to me for a while, including two of the people who used to be on my friends list that would show up in the Neo leaderboards, and you won't see them there anymore. And the weird thing was, is when I rebooted my game, like I tried to load the game back up later on after having done that, my game wouldn't load anymore. And I was freaking out for a bit about it. For a good 30 minutes or so, I couldn't get this game to load. I got it to load, but I couldn't get it into the actual game. It would load to the start menu where it says like, start your story. And then when it would load to there, every single time I'd click X, it would just give me an error that would instantly crash me back to my dashboard. And I was like, I had to go through my brain at the time and try to piece together all the different things that I did that could have caused an issue with it. I didn't rebuild my database because I knew that wasn't the problem. So what I did was I opened up another internet game on my PS4 and played online for a little bit in that and didn't have it instantly crash myself. And then I quit out of that game, went to load back up to the Crew 2, and the Crew 2 still crashed every single time I tried to click start your story. Also, what's up, the best gamer? Sorry, I was in the middle of saying something when you popped by, and I kind of wanted to finish it. But the weird thing is when I loaded back into the game, Game? Thank you. For a second I thought I was going to have more issues. But I think it was just because it was loading stuff outside of the menu. Like other people and stuff like that. I find that's what causes that to happen. Because it happened to me even while I was playing, while not streaming and stuff like that. But yeah, I had to... The thing that actually made my game work again, and now this is the, like, thing that I've come to accept being the be-all, end-all solution for a lot of the problems that I have with games crashing, is I just unplug the PS4. I don't unplug it while it's on, I just shut it off normally, and then I'll, unplug the console for like 2 to 3 minutes, which, if you didn't know how PS4s work, a PS4, even when shut off completely, not even just in rest mode, a PS4 when shut off completely will still leave some memory stored in RAM when powered down. And what this causes is when you go to boot back up your internet-only game, is that internet files that your PS4 would have used to load stuff back up fast are no longer there, so it has to recreate those cache files. And for a lot of internet games that cause crashes on PS4s, that can be the actual solution to making them not crash as often. Not rebuilding your database or reinstalling the game or anything like that. Simply just powering off your PS4, unplugging it for a couple minutes, and plugging it back in. Your PS4 could still be hot from playing it previously when you plug it back in, and you'll notice that you won't have the same issues. That being if the issues aren't caused by your modem itself. Because my game crashed, like I said. I tried to log into the Crew 2 after doing several different things on my PS4. Even I went to the network settings while the game was open and did a network test while the game was on before clicking the Start Your Story button. Which the game will say, "You are not connected to PSN right now. Please try again," or something, and you have to click the X button, and then it brings you back to the Start Your Story. And so I clicked on that again to try and get the game going, and still crashed. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? So I finally decided to just shut off the PS4 at the time and unplug it, doing just as I said before. And I waited a couple of minutes after unplugging it, went out, smoked a cigarette, came back in, plugged it in, started it back up, turned on the Crew immediately, like before the PS4 had even finished really loading everything that the PS4 loads when it first turns on. And clicked Start Your Story when the game booted up, and it loaded in just fine, like nothing had ever happened. Like it didn't give me a bunch of crashes in a row. And that, I can almost guarantee you what the problem was that was causing it. So I had deleted people off of my friends list that the cached internet file for my Crew 2 save, the cached internet file on my PS4 that the game uses to load stuff faster, was like, oh shit, your console's information does not match the cache data that we have, or whatever, because I had deleted some of the people off my friends list. But the game cache still had them as if they were on my friends list. So you had to get rid of the game cache in order for the game to give you a fresh initialization of your save when you click Start Your Story. And that's what it took to get my game to work right again. And the fact that isn't a known or documented issue is simply because I don't think enough people have ran into that issue. But I know it's an issue related to the Crew 2. Not to my PS4, because unplugging it and plugging it back in would not fix it if it was my PS4. That being said, it's not like I don't expect this game to ever crash again. It's just, when it crashes, I'll know why. Normally, when this game crashes, it seems to always be due to something with the online and not to do with your actual gameplay.
3, 2, 1.
That's why even sometimes it can freeze in a race due to it, because of not being able to unload something properly. I've noticed that happening before when I've been doing drift events, because there's so many people that are around the airport terminal D area. Sometimes people with bad internet will get stuck on your screen even when you're in the middle of a match, when you're not in a crew with anyone, but you'll still be able to see their quote-unquote player on your screen. And yes, I am racing a truck right now, if you're wondering why it's so hard to steer. I'm racing a big-ass truck. I know from the inside you probably just thought it was a muscle car or something, but it's a truck. The virus unit. Oh, the slip and slide unit. No, it's not actually that slidey, it's just heavy, so if you start sliding, it's hard to correct it. But it's not actually that bad of a vehicle. Also, what's up, Ricky? I don't know if I saw the message notification or not for you. I modified most of the trucks last night, and I was just talking earlier about all the issues that I ran into the other night. And also, it's so weird, this car is never centered on the screen. Like, look at this one. Centered on the screen. This one. What the fuck? Who is drunk? Stop drinking over at Ubisoft Ivory Tower. It's not good for you. Here, you can see all the what I did to all the cars last night. I have an American police car, so I figured I needed a European race car to balance everything out. I'm not skin biased. I understand that that's a European Specifically, I believe, the UK style of police car. Then this one is just the PlayStation buttons. This skin looked pretty cool. On the other side, it has the orange and the green. Then this one I found, and I was just so weirded out by it. Like, I don't know what cartoon or thing those things are supposed to be, but I just saw them and I was like, I have to put it on my car. It has to be. I'm not a skinsist. A Paper Mario skin. And Punisher. Anime skin, because always has to be an anime skin. And then this Heineken skin, and then the virus unit skin that you saw in the other car. Hold on. I got another new one, but I don't know where it is in the line. It's going to take it a minute to load all these cars again, because like I said, I had to redo. I had to well, not redo anything. I just had to unplug my console and plug it back in. But yeah, since all this stuff is stored on cache, it only loads fast if you've loaded the game before. Oh, right here, the Dynaco number 43 charger. I didn't want to do a General Lee. And then this one as well. I don't think I've ever asked you, Ricky, or if I have, I don't remember your answer. What's your favorite kind of car? I know Raw, the other dude who comes in here regularly, said he likes this. If he was going to get one and had to pick, he'd choose a Impala. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for the new cars so far. Most of them were tuned for drivability already, so I don't have to worry about being able to make them drive good. I already did that last night. At least some of them. Some of them are still very, very hard to drive. I never realized how bad... I guess, picked a lot of the good ones somehow. Because half of these other cars are just dog trash handling that I hadn't picked yet. I mean, even if there isn't one in the game that you like specifically, just tell me what your favorite car in real life would be. Even if it's not one that's available in this game. Because again, you have to remember, this game doesn't have iconic cars such as the Toyota Supra and the old Acura or Honda NSX. They only have very select specific things from specific generations because it's fucking crew and it's weird.
2, 1.
I forgot this car has a glitched dirt resistance. Oh my god, it's so annoying. Meaning if one tire is on the dirt and you touch the dirt, it makes your car lose complete stability
I don't know how you're doing it, but keep it up.
Which is literally an actual glitch in this game with some cars. They fixed some of that in the last update for this game, but they didn't fix it for all cars. And what I mean is, whenever you hit the dirt, it just gives that tire a way higher resistance level than the rest of the car. Or stuff like that. Certain cars have a body-to-body resistance level that's higher than other cars. So it makes you stick to other cars when you run into them. It makes you feel like you're being magneted into another car. Like that guy just then when I was next to him, it's not like I was trying to press into him, but my car just did that and then lost a bunch of speed in the process because it's freaking weird like that. Oh my god. How? I mean, half of what makes a car a favorite car is just what a car looks like. Would a better question be what's your favorite looking car? Because that is pretty much 90% of what you should determine your favorite car off of. Sorry, my controller did the thing where it disconnected when it gets fully charged. I don't know why it fucking does that, but it did it again. At least it didn't do it during the race this time. Oh wait, I don't think I tuned this one. I think I was going to, but I was too tired last night to do it, and I stopped after I upgraded it. We'll see. I think I tuned it. Oh yeah, I definitely tuned it. It would be so much more back and forth with the suspension.
Ride like it means something.
Oh my god, this thing cannot do high-speed handling. Can it even do... Yeah, it doesn't even accelerate fast, so it barely even made it up that building. This is actually probably one of the worst muscle cars in the game. This car is even worse than the truck I was using earlier. See, this thing doesn't have that excessive dirt resistance problem that the Impala has, though. That you saw happen a couple times last time. And when going over the jump, because the jump is considered a different material than the road surface, so the cars get different grip based on what their variables are set for their grip on that surface type. Because it's just a bunch of variables. In reality, they can make any car drive the same way as any other car in this game. Just because like I said, the physics models are just deterministic of whatever discipline they stick the car in. Which is why sometimes a car within a discipline will not handle like other cars within a discipline, because it does not have its physics set the same way. Or has a certain variable with its traction on pavement different, like the Shelby GT500 does, where all it does is spin its tires no matter how you have it set up. This car right here. One of the worst cars in the game. Because you cannot make the rear end as loose as it needs to be. Watch. See, I don't even know why it does that. It's like the transmission's fucked up in it or something. All it does is go when it gets to high second gear. Here. To prove how bad it is, I'll race the stock version of the car on Ace mode, max upgraded, on a track that I can beat fairly easily with just about every other car. Also, hello Sean, welcome back, man. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Wow, it actually accelerated normally for once. Oh, never mind. Oh my god. I tapped a sign and the car is just like speed wobble. It's like driving a bike except it's a car. This car's physics are just so fucked up. I'm not even gonna bother, dude. It's not even worth my time driving this pilot dog turd. I don't know why it's so fucked up in this game, but they seriously need to fix it. It's so fucked up. It's unusable. There's something messed up with the rear suspension variables on this car. That and the transmission. Hold on, does driving it... Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so on sequential, it's fine. It doesn't... Wait. I just saw it happen there for a second. I would use manual if I wasn't forced to use L1 and R1 to shift. If I could use the face buttons in some way, shape, or form for it, I would.
Put the hammer down.
Oh my God, Rodney, seriously? I hate the AI's bullshit with their fucking invincible boxes of death that you can't run into. He just puts me to a fucking stop, and I can't do anything about it.
Last? What are we doing in last?
I wasn't even in last when you said that, you dunce cat. What? I hit that sign without losing control? The song's actually wrong for once. He's got control. they just pay me to sing that song? Oh yeah, that's right. If you do it under a bridge, you get put onto bridge, because bridge magic. Bridgeardry. The wizardly bridgeardly. You want to hear a shitty German joke? And it is only a good joke if you know what the word means. But you want to know what you call fat that's just laying around? Nusgaren. I could have said that better, but whatever.
That's it. Show them what you got.
Nicht gern wird. That sounded too R-rolly, not enough actual German. I just need to think of girls and Panzer. I was gonna give this a like SWAT van skin, but I figured that would be too easy. I also find it funny how heavy they treat this car as in this game. This car is like driving an armored vehicle in terms of how heavy and how much it can just knock shit around. It's just a fucking Volkswagen Touareg. You never thought your mom's soccer van could compete with Porsches. This thing actually has a surprisingly fast 0 to 60 because of being all-wheel drive. I mean, you could see it right there. It less than 4 seconds. Hold on, what is it 0 to 60? Yeah, less than 3 seconds. 3.23 seconds. But I have that D upgraded, so. This one I don't believe I messed with yet. Nope. Here, let's try. I should always try a car stock first before you fuck with it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Oh, wait. You gotta actually swap to that car, you nematode. Just in case you were wondering how I had this thing tuned. With all heavy vehicles like these, you have to have very, very tight front roll bars. And if you tighten the rear roll bars, all that will make them do is slide, so you just gotta deal with slow, stiff steering. That's how this one's tuned as well. Same with these. Where did that... Oh, there it is. Oh yeah. I can already tell it's going to need to be stiffened up. Oh! It's alright. We're in an SUV. I don't know why no one didn't make like an American Dad skin for this car or the other one. If they made the Escalade be able to have a skin on it, I guarantee you that would be one that would be on that. But then again, the American Dad SUV is just a black SUV, so how do you make a skin for it? You wouldn't know. It's like, how do you make a kit from Knight Rider skin without it actually being kit from Knight Rider? Because it's just a black car. This thing's pretty good. I'm actually pretty... It's pretty good. I mean, that's all you gotta say. It's pretty good. What else do you say? It's pretty good. What the hell? All those changes I made effectively amounted to nothing by the end of making all those changes. I'm on PS4, Jeffer. I'm sorry, man. I don't play with people anyways. That's not me trying to sound like an asshole. I just have so many problems with the online and shit. I just don't even bother. I'm tired of it at this point.
On the perfect road. Time to be the perfect driver.
Until Ubisoft can get their shit together and make a game that doesn't crash to do with the online shit, I'll play it online. But they haven't been able to make a game in the past fucking 4 to 5 years that on launch you can use the online features of the game fucking successfully, even patches down the road, and it gets fucking annoying. Considering this is an only online game, yet online issues of the game are 90% of what are going to cause your game to crash, it's kind of stupid. Especially when you try to report things to the Ubisoft help team, and their help team just gives you emojis and dumb shit in response to legitimate issues that their game causes. And then just being like, XD, we'll look into it. Have you looked into the fact that your game isn't even complete yet? Have you looked into that? Maybe don't treat Gator Rush like it's a free update. Instead, it was supposed to be content that was already in the fucking game by default. But because it takes them so long to polish and optimize anything, even if it's a still dead, beaten turd, even if it requires them ripping out the main features of their video game engine in order to make a worse version of the same video game engine for their second game. Like, I don't know, what was wrong with having a fucking nav line on the screen? It's not like your game is visually impressive enough to deserve not having a blue fucking line pasted over it. Fucking... I don't even know what goes through their minds as developers, but they're missing the fucking point. They lost the plot, like, before they even released the game, they had already lost the plot. The fact it took people in Russia and Ukraine an extra month to even be able to play the fucking game is just an even more disappointing thing in and of its own. I don't even live in those places, and yet I feel so bad for the money that people paid for the gold edition in their own country, only to have it not work for an entire month after the game was already out. That's not even mention the fact that them ordering the gold edition was supposed to allow them to play the game before it was even released. That didn't happen. Did they get any recompense for it? Did they get any money back for it? No. You bought an always online game. That's the risk you take in 2018, is that you may live in a fucking country where that shit just doesn't work. And you're shit out of luck. 'Cause you be shit. On your face. My favorite thing to wake up to every single day is a steaming pile of UB shit right in my face. Just fucking like a soft serve ice cream machine. Oh shit. Sorry, I had to make my laptop screen not go black after a while. It's just like when people come onto the stream and ask me, is this game worth buying? And I have to like tell them from the bottom of my heart, it's not. Buy it a year from now. Not only will the connections be better, but the content will actually be in the game that was supposed to be in the actual game in the fucking first place. You won't have to wait like I will. You can enjoy the entire complete experience as a complete experience. Whereas I'm basically playing a Steam Early Access game right now. And the sad part is, the Crew 1 started out the same exact way, and you figure they would have learned from their fucking mistakes. But they're a company that seems to revel in their mistakes, and instead make more mistakes in the process, instead of trying to fix the few things that people wanted fixed about the first game. No, let's just completely dump a bunch of systems that no one hated. No one hated the nav line and went, how can I get this fucking dumb blue line off of my screen? No one said that. And if they did, it's way easier to make an option in the options menu that just goes, nav line, on, off. There you go, I just solved the problem of your game for you. You be shit. Fucking dumbasses. Video games from 15 years ago have more options in their options menus than modern fucking video games. And by that I mean useful options, not the useless garbage that's in this game. The only good thing about the options menu in this game is that they let you adjust steering linearity and clamping. But that's become more and more of a standard across other types of games in this genre, that them not doing it would be more of a disservice to them as a company trying to make a racing game. So really they had to do it just because that's the standard, more than anything else. It'd be the equivalent of making a game where the sprint button isn't the left stick. It's like, unless it's a fucking third-person action game, you done fucked up. And I love how they sit there and act like it wouldn't be that easy to just put the nav line back in. They act like it's a programming feat that it exists in the first place, when games, again, that were 10 years older than their game had already done it in the first place. And not only that, it's not even that you necessarily need a nav line. How about just an arrow at the top of the screen? You know, like some of the older test drive games. Or, I don't know, maybe make the map a little bit bigger, or zoom the map out of your character's icon so that your character's pointer isn't going towards the edge of the map. Why does it do that? It just makes you unable to see the track that's coming up when you're looking at the fucking map. If you look at the map right now, you'll see what I mean. As I go in one direction, my pointer will get gradually further and further closer to the edge of that side of the map, to the point where there's only like maybe 100 feet of the road actually visible on the map as a blue line. And unless I go like this, which then this zooms out way too fucking far, so the blue line then becomes invisible in some cases. It's just like, can you fucking decide to do anything right? Can you just, like, make a decision and be fucking set on it? You be dipshits. But no, we're not even allowed to have that much in modern video games. All because it can be written off because they're a tiny development team. It's not like they didn't just use the same map from the first game. They did. They just upgraded the graphics. And by upgraded, you could kind of say that's a little bit of an overstatement.
Drive like you never heard of a red light.
Go look up the Crew 1 and watch some gameplay of it. Come back and look at this game. The only thing you'll notice is that cars look better. The lighting is still the same shitty lighting. The only thing that's different is, again, specular lighting on the cars. And if you're just focused on the cars, it makes the game seem like it looks really good. But if you start looking at, like, those pylons connecting that railway together, there's no, like... It's just so poorly done. This map looks worse than GTA 4. Even the environmental cars. Look at this shit. Look at how low poly that is compared to my car.
Get rolling or get used to breathing everyone else's exhaust.
It's so ugly. Gotta make the environment to look like shit to make cars look realistic, apparently. Fuck, why do I keep doing that? Man, I'm surprised by how fast this thing is. This thing is a freight train. trying to avoid those bumps when you cut the corners. This thing's fast for a small SUV. Actually, I don't even know what you'd call this car. This car is so borderline in between all types of cars that... What do you call it? A large sedan or a frickin' SUV? I would qualify this as an SUV. Personally. A small, mid-sized SUV. .826 horsepower to go 225 miles an hour, so it's gotta weigh pretty good. It's gotta weigh pretty good, because that's how stuff weighs, right? Weighs good or weighs bad, man? It's what I say every day. I wake up, I go, it weighs bad, man. Don't you mean it feels bad? No, it weighs bad. Wait. Was that an exhaust? Oh my goodness, we have nitrochemist on a car. I can't even believe I remembered that. Oh, that's cool. It has the little triangle fart particles. Did you ever want triangle farts? Well, here. We gave you a bonus that has them. You could also just eat nachos. Nachos locos. Self-represent. Buy my skin. My Nachos Loco skin. If it's still even in the top 100. If I even put it up for this car. A lot of them I don't even think I uploaded it because I was going to make stickers like Castrol and stuff like that to put on it, like fake brands. But well, those are real brands, but they were... This game, you're only allowed to put fake brands on your car. If you want there to be real brands on the car, you have to make them. And you have to copy the logo. And it uses so many different layers just to make a logo. Like, Yeah, this one has it. Has custom stuff. Same with here. The Wonder. This one too, modal. Trying to find, I knew. Wait, yeah, this one right here. See, the guy had made the Pirelli. And then the Alpine stars on the side.
Three, two, one.
Sorry, I'm back. I mean, I was always there. I was just... Like I said, there's a reason why you normally only catch me streaming really late. Because there's always people around where I live. Are you still there, Ricky? Because you never told me what it would be. Oh, never mind. Ricky's not there anymore. Whatever. He probably fell asleep. What? It didn't say that there was anyone watching, though. It still says that. It still says there's no one watching on my playback side. On the notifications on the screen, it said there was a person. That's so weird. Fuck, sorry. Trying to put my jacket on so I can go outside real quick. Oh. My neck hurts. Let me try and get a good back crack right now. Just lay over the side of the couch all weird. If you saw me right now, you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? You have a winter jacket on, laying over backwards on a couch. On the arm of the couch. With a PlayStation 4 controller in your hand. Oof. I don't know if that made an audible cracking sound, but that one was pretty loud from me. Sometimes when I crack my back, apparently it can be heard on my mic very easily. I was in a party with a friend of mine the other day, and I did that where I leaned over the arm of the couch to crack my back. And I have one spot that always cracks really loud. Like it goes like and makes like a pop that you could hear from like a good 5 to 10 feet away. But of course, when you hear that stuff internally in your body, it never sounds as loud as it does to other people. Just because you're used to it. But when another person hears that go like that, and it sounds like your back breaks, they always are like, "You okay?" Back when I was younger, like 13 to 14 years old, I used to neck crack by tilting my head to the side and cracking it, and then tilting it to the other side and cracking it. And I used to do that just to make the kids in my class unsettled and not mess with me. Because that was during the time when there were a lot of new kids and stuff like that. And most of the kids from the school that I spent most of my time in didn't mess with me anymore, because they had long since seen what I was capable of, even though I was the short, skinny native kid who was always made fun of and bullied. I always got people back so much harder than they would ever do to me. That, and I was just a weird kid for a long time. I wouldn't necessarily say I was manipulative, because I never, I never tried to hurt, or fuck with people who never did it to me. It was only specifically to the people who messed with me that I would mess with them. And because people in my family ran the local newspaper, that being, if you want to know what newspaper the people in my family run, you can look up the Journal Opinion. And back before, the internet was your main source of media, my family always used to threaten putting my school on blast for some of the dumb shit that they did on, news that would be sent across the entire multi-state region. And basically that person would get, fired from the school board. Get that person filed from the school board, or get a kid expelled. And then as I got older, like I said, around the 13 to 14 years, I started to actually get into fights with some of the kids who didn't stop fucking with me when I was younger. And by either some shred of luck, or just the kids that I was fighting being completely retarded, even though they were bigger than me, I became the kid who was known as the squirrely, tiny kid that you didn't really want to fuck with. There were kids who had to come back to class after messing with me on soccer and stuff like that, who would come back to class with bandages on their nose and stuff like that, because I was not play nice kind of kid when it came to fighting. Some kids like to punch. I was a trip and kick you in the face kind of kid with my foot, because I was so short and not strong physically in terms of my upper body. I relied completely upon tripping, knocking people on the ground, and then just fucking kicking them like shit when they're down until they started bawling. I had no upper body strength, and I still don't. And if I got into fights, I'd take the kickboxer way out every single time. There's no reason for me to punch you if I don't have to. Fisticuffs are for 2 6-foot brutes with half of a brain trying to fight each other. If you want to actually knock someone down, you learn actual martial arts for defending yourself to do with kicks, punches, and trips. But even then, punches, like I said, are only valuable to you if you're a fucking giant Neanderthal. If you're a small person, punching another dude who's 6'2" is never going to be the best situational advantage for you. It does not matter. This is why when they do professional fighting, you have weight classes. Because a person that is only 120 pounds cannot throw a punch deadly enough to harm someone who's 200 plus. At least on a professional MMA fighting scale. And even that same scale goes in real life. A fucking 200-pound dude can punch me and knock me out in a second. So the last thing I want to do is let that fucking person touch me. And the same thing used to go in school. Don't let him touch you, just fucking trip him and make him eat shit. And I used to wear steel-toed hiking boots, and I still do, but those things have long since worn out over time. One of them is blown out on the side. They're like 12, 13 years old at this point. I got sick of being bullied when I was younger, and despite the fact everyone says you just tell someone about it, that doesn't do fucking anything. That doesn't stop the bully outside of school from fucking with you. It doesn't stop them from hurting you. What does, though, is making them scared of trying to do it again because they know you're not worth the effort anymore. And that's what I did. Make yourself not worth the effort, and all of a sudden you become like every other kid that doesn't get bullied. That being said, I'm not trying to say that fighting is the cause of everything, but if you have to fight, develop your own cheap, shitty way to do it. Because you shouldn't ever have to fight if you don't want to. And people who complain about the way that you fight and defend yourself after attacking you, that doesn't matter. They're the fucking pussy in the first place. Oh, when I went to punch you, I didn't expect you to just fucking knock me on the ground and kick me in the face 5 times in a row. I even used one of our sleds at recess one time to beat up a kid. And they stopped using those sleds at school after that happened. We used to have these like red sleds for sledding at our school because our school had a decent little hill that it was next to for sledding. So one of the things we would do for recess in the winter was go sledding. And they had these little red sleds that had these yellow handles on them. I don't know if you had one when you were a kid, but I mean, you live in a place where you don't really get that kind of snow, so I wouldn't imagine so. But these red sleds had these levers to act as brakes when you were going down the hill really fast, because the sleds were designed to like haul ass. And what I did was I picked up the sled, and those levers like flap around and like hang and dangle there, and like you could smack, and I did smack a person with the fucking sled and it will like cut them open. And the only reason I never got expelled was because I had my one friend, Brian, who I always hung out with, always to back me up and say that I wasn't the person who started the fight. And my teachers always tried to fold around the dumb bullshit of like, well, you shouldn't, blah, 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 you shouldn't try to do it anyways, you just go and tattle on them. And it's just like, that never fucking helps anyone or does anything. It doesn't. Even my grandmother argued that with them. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Especially when it was as a small school as we were. Like, what are you gonna do, expel me? Where am I gonna go to school? You're gonna make me drive an hour and a half to go to a school that's fucking 7 towns away in a completely different district? It's like, no, you aren't. You're gonna make the other fucking kid do it because he lives farther away when I live literally a walk away from the school. Because I'm not the kid who goes around flipping the hats off of other kids and like taking shit and then running with it. I'm not that kid. And it's like you had to like basically sit there and try to convince the teachers that somehow you, as the kid who's being bullied, also wasn't a bully because you equally beat them up as bad as they would do it to you. And it's like, do you even have a brain? How are you supposed to be teaching me what's right from wrong when you don't even seem to understand it yourself? How about you get out there and physically take the kid off of the other kid if you care so much about it? Stop sitting and watching and then being like, oh yeah, stop what you're doing, you need to go to the planning room, because that's what they called it in our school. Our school didn't even have detention because our school was so small that they didn't want to keep teachers after 4 o'clock. So teachers would go home, you wouldn't have detention, you'd go to what was called a planning room, which was basically a daytime detention where you'd just be separated from the rest of your class and just do the work that you were supposed to in class. Of course, this would fuck up a lot of things because obviously there would be a new semester or a new thing that they were teaching in class, so they couldn't do that some days because it would fuck with the whole curriculum. And it was just so retarded. And I talk to other people about this, and people always look at me like I'm crazy because that doesn't exist anywhere else. Did you have a planning room where you went, where there was 5 or 6 desks with the extra wood on them to like seal you in so you couldn't see or do anything with other kids in the same room? It was basically like solitary confinement for a kid in school.
2, 1.
Because it was normally always the one bully who was in there with his fucking stupid help person who wasn't help at all, and I don't even understand why they got paid actual money to do anything, because they didn't fucking do anything. They didn't make the bully less of a bully. They didn't stop the kid from the second the guy was away from the help, from him starting to fuck with kids again. kids like me would always get the shitty end of it, because when you defend yourself and you actually end up defending yourself better than what they would expect, and again, you end up hurting the bully so bad they have to go either to the hospital or to a clinic to have bandages put on, when you're just some skinny little fucking long-haired kid. You wouldn't know how many times people grabbed my hair in a fight. And in most cases that would be bad, but I get so adrenaline filled and angry when people grab my hair that I just start kneeing and elbowing like crazy. And I will make you throw up your fucking lunch and fall over. I can't kick high, but I can fucking knee like nothing. Especially when someone grabs me by the hair and pulls me close to their body, I'm just like, you fucked up, dude. Letting me anywhere near the lower half of your body when you're a foot taller than me means you either don't want to have kids or you like eating pavement. It takes multiple people to hold me down. I know, because when they tried to... when I had pneumonia not a few years ago, actually it was so much longer ago than I realized, but because the experiences are always so vivid to me of being in a hospital. The few times I've been in a hospital, it's so vivid. Like the time when I was in it when I was 7, I could still explain to you everything that happened from the time that I walked into the doctor's office to when I left. But to put things short, I had pneumonia and had to be hospitalized for a while back in April of 2011. And during that time I was in the hospital, there were a couple incidences where people would try to like give me something I didn't want or something like that, and because I was like crazy from the medicine and other shit that they were giving me, and having all this shit plugged in, and me being like a nervous, stressed out kid at the time, I was just like freaking out, and they had to multiple times just hold me down, and it took like 2 full-grown men, medical assistants, to hold me down in this medical bed. My arms were chafed red on the 2 points where the dude was grabbing me for about 3 weeks after I was out of the hospital. Like where it was red from him grabbing me and me like wriggling and fighting like his grab so hard that it was literally like sheared the skin on my arm. The dudes had told my parents at the time that they had never had a kid that was as strong as me, who is as small as I was. I also had another weird experience, one that I can't really remember because I was only 6 months old, but I was born with asthma, as I tell a lot of people, and I had a really bad asthma attack when I was 6 months old and had to be rushed to the hospital. And there's a picture of me in the back of this, like this ambulance, with a smile on my face, with this respirator on, and with like the baby giggles, as you could see. They of course didn't have a camera for video back then, but it was just a picture of me with a medical mask on with the like baby giggle face. And it was just so weird because, again, they had said they had never experienced anything like that when it came to a kid who was like basically having a medical emergency. But the baby wasn't like crying or straining, just laughing. It was so bizarre. I don't even know how to explain that from myself because I didn't... It's not like in the future when I had asthma attacks I started laughing. And now I don't have asthma anymore. I grew out of my asthma. I grew out of my asthma around the same time when I started becoming more physically active and was doing the martial arts stuff and was playing sports. I don't know, I worked my asthma out of my system physically because I had the type of asthma that was supposed to be with me my entire life. Like it was the type that you're born with, that it's not onset or anything like that. It's just you have asthma. I had to take, until I was about 13 years old, I had this little like purple slider thing that had like a time on it. And like it had amount of dates and set amount of charges that you would have to do it on. I think it was called like Advair or whatever. And I had to do that every single day, and that was supposed to be my temporary asthma treatment. It was never supposed to be a permanent fix. And when I would do physical activity, I'd always have to put my hands above my head and like... I can still do the same like wheeze noise that I used to when I had asthma. But the difference now is that it's me artificially creating the wheeze noise and not my actual lungs wheezing.
3, 2, 1.
It's just because what causes the swelling in your lungs, which makes it so that the wheezing happens, is just mucus buildup that your lungs can't get rid of properly. And it makes your lungs contract together when they should be expanding, giving you the loss of breath, even though there's no actual loss of breath, per se. And I don't want to say working out is a cure for it, but definitely if you have asthma, do consider being physical to the point of pushing yourself to the very limit where you can handle it. And doing that several times a day. Because that's how I used to be. I pushed myself to the absolute limit and had multiple asthma attacks when growing up because of it. But I also don't have asthma anymore. And I smoke cigarettes, and I smoke weed. So if anything, I should be more susceptible to that reoccurring. But I don't even get bronchitis in the winter, and most people around here do. Damn it. Stupid building. A lot of times when you have physical problems to do with something that makes you strained or stressed out, they'll tell you bed rest, less physical activity, bed rest. Never do that. Never do that unless your condition is literally fatal. Because a lack of physical motion makes your body less likely to repair things that are wrong with it. And that is a well-known science for the human body. It's the same reason why I tell people, if you can stomach the pain, never take opioids. Don't take morphine, don't take codeines, don't take anything in the opioid family, because what it does is it shuts off your opioid receptors, which is your pain receptor for all intents and purposes. And when the opioid receptor receives pain signals from your body, that's what makes you hurt. And when your brain receives those signals of pain, it tries to send things or do things in the body that would trigger cell repair
All right, you're ahead.
and try to
We're just
fix
getting
that
started.
thing that's hurting. You take opioids and painkillers to null that effect, your brain no longer gets the signals or gets weaker signals to repair that area, so you get a weaker repair job. Yes, I'm on PS4, but no, you can't join me, and I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want to play with people. Blame Ubisoft for having such a crashy game when you do play with people. I love how it doesn't even fit in the camera because it's so massive. Watch out, my truck might accidentally eat one of your cars. I thought this was supposed to be a car racing
I knew
game.
you could do it.
I should buy all the trucks and do a trucks only stream. No baby cars allowed. Mazdas will be eaten as snacks. Please bring your finest AMC Gremlin appetizers. Big boys with big boys. That's something I always used to say when I played Dark Souls. But I guess now it'll become a crew thing. I only drive the most bulbiest, squarest vehicles you have. Big G TJ, how's it going? Didn't you come by the stream the other day? No, it's fine, man. I understand if you're just looking for people to play.
Come on, you can do
It's
it.
no problem. I know a couple people who have come by my stream that were playing on Xbox, but I couldn't tell you their name or remember it. Oh my god, dude, and your little Miata. Stop it. You're like a little pesky fly. Needs to be swatted. Did I say Miata again? God damn it. Stupid MX-5s. Wow. I didn't realize the AI is wall banged. What a cheese ball. The AI always drives perfect lines, some people say. They totally don't drive like complete Nimrods. Oh my god, how did I fuck that up so royally? Oh my lol. Good thing this thing is for real. At least I think it is. I wouldn't understand how it would pull itself up otherwise. See, they freaking wallbang. They're cheaters. Wallbanging's for losers. I can win in a truck without wallbanging. There shall be no wall banging unless it's a glory hole. Then wall bang all you want. Oh, hey Teddy, I didn't even see you. Oh yeah, I stream often, by the way. Sorry, I didn't read that before. I was in the middle of that. I stream almost every day, if not every day, unless something comes up or I'm just not feeling good. But for the most part, I try to stream every day. I mean, I have like, what? I think I'm getting close to 1,000 videos on this channel, with like 75 to 80% of them now being streams. I remember when I used to fucking actually edit stuff. Aw. Gotta give me so much in one category and then none in another. I wonder how this thing drives. Oh yeah, well I also meant for the other person too who had asked me the question. I can't clear my throat tonight. Too much wall banging.
Stop talking so you can start driving.
Shut up, hero. It would be so much cooler in The Crew 2 if The Crew 2 used a real map of America and had weather based on what was actually going on. You could have cool events in your game that would kind of fuck over the people where they lived who own the game in a way. I mean, it kind of sounds asshole-ish, but you could do like, I mean, if a hurricane or like a tornado or something was going to hit an area, if you like loaded up The Crew 2 and went to that area and there was a tornado, that would be pretty cool for a game anyways. It's just an idea. That way you couldn't even blame the developers because it would just be based on whatever dynamic weather was going on in real life in a specific area. I know that would be a lot to process and manage, and it's definitely not something for Ubisoft to do. But if they were ever going to make a game like this in the future, that's the step in the right direction. Real weather patterns based on the weather patterns that happened like a day before. So it wouldn't be like 5 minutes behind, but it'd be like whatever weather happened that day, you could go on the next day and experience that weather in the game and drive around in it for fun and get like blown all over the place or something like that. Have it even have like a rewind feature where you could like go back to specific events and like set up races around it. Like the Tuscaloosa tornado dirt track takedown or something like that. Charity event. Raising money for the people who had things destroyed in that area. And have all the people who stream have a donation thing that links to a website which goes for like the help with, or the Helping Hand America or whatever. That I always know them as that, but that's not what the actual company is called. I just know them because their logo is the like hand going upwards. And they're the one that you always donate to in times of crisis. Can't ever remember what the actual name of it is. Because they have events in this game per se, but they never do anything beneficial outside of give the player monetary gain for doing really good on a track or knowing how to abuse a system. Because currently all the events do in this game is give you crew credits, which crew credits are the premium currency of this game, if you would even fucking need premium currency. You know how much money? I have so much freaking money in this game, I can't even spend it. Because I don't even want more cars, because I don't even like what cars I have left to buy. I just am buying new cars now at the point for just being like, I have nothing else. That's what that car was. I don't like this. I want an old NSX. I don't want them to even have the statistic of me buying it to even give them the slightest idea that I like this car. Because I don't. I don't like this car. I want the old one from the fucking 90s. That thing's so fucking hideous to look at. It's like they have stuff like this, but not iconic cars. For whatever dumbass reason. Oh yeah, because everybody wants a Lamborghini Miura, but nobody wants a fucking Toyota Supra. Obviously. We never tried this thing out with the boost upgrade. Oh my god, that's right. It fucking puts you on top of the bridge every time. So stupid, man. I got put up on top of that bridge behind me. No clue why it considers that the best place to put you when you change your car in that specific zone. I've already beaten all the dirt bike races that I want to. I only haven't beaten one of them on Ace mode, and that's because it's impossible on Ace mode unless you have the off-road reduction or off-road acceleration reduction thing on all your parts, or else your bike physically cannot go fast enough to keep up with the objective. Oh my god, that's such a ridiculous amount of boost.
We're in first place.
This thing's such a handful. No, I don't just ride around, man. I'm a farmer boy. I've completed so many races. I'll do a different discipline if you want. I just had bought a bunch of new street cars last time I played, so I was trying to use them. But I always do drifts now. Ever since unlocking the key. I inserted the key into Pandora's box and became the God of War. And now I can drift. That's how drifting works, right? You just become Kratos, God of War, and then you drift master. Athena! Or, sorry, modern Kratos would have just gone, boy. I'm a person who values the events more than the free ride. Because personally, I think the map is very bad in this crew. With a lot of the major landmarks and cities having a lot of their shits gutted out of them. It's just not even worth it. I'm more in it for just the actual driving and racing aspect. You'll rarely ever find me just driving around. But you're talking to someone who used to tune cars in Gran Turismo 3 for the fun of it. Crew toss beaten. Oh yeah, that's right, because I deleted people off my friends list. It's gonna...
Now that is how a professional does it.
It's gonna give me new people to sort my shit out. It's not gonna show the world record initially. I beat crew toss. Again, with more conviction.
3, 2, 1.
Clear your mind and the car will follow.
Almost fucked it up. I am good pilot, though. Sometimes. Just trying some different things out. Seeing what gets me more points in a drift. Damn it, didn't mean to stop drifting.
Anyone can get lucky once.
I'll beat you in a stock RX-7, Tio. Don't even try me.
Good news. Bushimara is staying in, and it's all thanks to you.
They need more drift courses like that. They just need a more Need for Speed Underground like. Five Guys. Kartos. The god of cars. God dang it. Fuck.
3, 2, 1.
Gotta remember, this car needs even lighter drifts than the last car.
Remember to relax and let the car do the work.
Hey, there's a rainbow! I think that's the first time I've ever seen a rainbow in the Crew 2. A moment of clarity in the eye of the storm. Also, fuck my ass with your mustache.
3, 2, 1.
This thing requires such a sweet caress to get to stay at an angle. Hold on, I need to make an adjustment real quick. Wait, could it be because of the ECU? Wait, that might actually be the problem. There we go. That should make it want to slip and slide.
Three, two, one.
Ubisoft, you don't even have to pay me. I'll come and tune all the vehicles in your game for you for free. And then I'll tell you if you can't make it drivable via tuning so you can actually properly fucking fix it, because apparently your testers can't. Like with the Proto Hup 1.
I saw it, but I don't believe it.
Good news. Bushimara is staying in, and it's all thanks to you.
And it's all thanks to me. You don't even have to pay me, Ubisoft. I got you. I got you, fam. Also, why does this say 234 out of 240 when it is 240 clearly? What the fuck is wrong with this car? Am I just blind? Okay, now it's back to normal. I wonder if that means it's going to drive any different. That could have been why it was fucked up in the first place. No, still steam. Still steams. Still seems to be good. Still steaming. Push it to the limit. Walk a mile at a time. God damn it. Suck a dick.
3, 2, 1.
Suck a churro. No, too far in.
Good news. Ushimara is staying in, and it's all thanks to you.
Wow, escaping an airport is a lot harder than I thought in the Crew 2, considering how badly everything is designed. What do you mean you suck at Crew 2? If you try to compare yourself to other people like me who have been playing racing games since they were 7 years old, you're never going to feel like you're good at the game. My ability to switch in between different cars and adjust my playstyle based on how that car drives, that is something you just have to accrue over years of playing racing games. That's like when people tell me, when I like tell people how to tune a car, they'll be like, oh, I'm just going to use this for my other cars. And I'm like, no, that's not how that works. You can't just put the tuning for one car on another car. All cars have different suspension and chassis and subframes and motor and torque deceleration on their differentials. And as much as they don't let you adjust those things, they still make a difference. They just don't let you adjust them. It's why two cars that can have the same wheelbase don't even drive the same. The way the frame twists and rotates on the car is all something you have to factor in. You have to know what a thing does in a car, like, oh, if your car's bouncing up after hitting something on the ground, then that's probably because your compression is set too tight. Or vice versa, it could mean your rebound is set too tight versus your compression. There are some cars in this game where you have to set the compression higher than the rebound, which is something you'd never do in real life. But that's only because this game doesn't let you actually see the values that are applied to the cars, like the actual weight. Like, this spring has 6 pounds per square inch of force, or something like that. You're not allowed to adjust that. And some of the cars have broken variables in that regards, like the Shelby GT500 1960s edition of that car. That car, in its street race form, is broken and unusable.
It is all thanks to you.
Same thing with the Proto Hub. It's just the way that the suspension on them are internally calculated that you can't fix those cars until they let you adjust them better. Yeah, that's right. You drive around my fucking high-quality drift car. Stupid bus driver. Oh, thanks for the nice drifting compliment. No, what I haven't used the Focus since I upgraded it. I don't think. Yeah, but the motocross in this game is shit. Absolute dog shit compared to MX versus ATV or any of those games. There was this motocross game with Travis Pastrana as like the host, or something, and I can't remember what the frickin' name of the game was. It was like MX something. It wasn't in the MX versus ATV series. It was from the guys who made, I think, one of the I think it was from Neversoft, or something like that. It functioned a lot like the skating games. Also, this car is going to take me a little bit to get adjusted, too. This one is not as loosey-goosey as the Nissan. Okay, yeah. I had tuned it because it had a bad suspension in it before. It was before I got the suspension upgrade for it, which is now a gold upgrade. Because only very recently were my drift cars max leveled, or near max level. It's why some of them still aren't. So I had to do fucked up tuning on them to make them drift the way that I wanted to when they were stock. The only one you don't have to do that to is the RX-7, because the RX-7 doesn't change a lot of its physics in between being max upgraded or not. Not like these cars. This car's physics completely changes in between being non-upgraded and fully upgraded.
There's a fine line between drifting and losing control. Don't cross it.
That was a fucking dunce cap and a half. So was that. But that was sort of because I fucked up the first turn. There we go. Much better now.
Good news. Bushimara is staying in, and it's all thanks to you.
Yeah, MX versus ATV Unleashed. That's one of my favorite all-time racing games. I still have it from my PlayStation 2. It just sucks because my disc randomly freezes because it's such an old CD. There's no scratches or anything on it. It just randomly freezes. I used to also have it for PC because I liked the game so much that it was one of the first games that I had bought for a console that made me want to get the PC version so I could use the track editor and track creator that they had made, which was actually really good for the time. Is there any specific drift car or thing that you'd want to see me do? I mean, besides just driving around, which to me, I could be better using my time. Even if you just want me to do the hypercar driving, I'll do that. But then again, they fucking fixed the AI, so you can't even have a casual 50-mile-an-hour drive with your hypercar friends down the highway anymore. Because now they're gonna be fucking tryhards. Some people hated the rubber banding AI. I didn't mind it on the slow end of the scale. It's just, I hate it when the AI rubber bands so badly that they smack you in the ass end going faster than you ever could in that car. That is what pisses me off about rubber banding AI. I don't care if they slow down. I don't care if they catch up to me. But you can't just have them go fucking full throttle until they're past you and then stop. Because that just breaks everything to do with competitive play. I can do anything except for the stupid frickin' planes. Not that I'm bad at planes, I just don't give a fuck about them. Her smile just creeps me the fuck out, dude. It's like a Resident Evil smile. That's not a normal human smile. I'm going to eat your family. How did I even do that? I went backwards, turned this way. How did I even do what I did when I drove like... I like turned one way and my car like reverse spun around in the other direction in the complete opposite way that I was actually pressing for it to go. Hurt my brain. Fuck! See, I hate selecting a vehicle from the select a vehicle thing once you load into a race because it makes my stream all bit-ratey. If I just select my car outside the race and then go into it and let it load as normal, I don't get the bitrate problem. I don't know why that is, but it just is. Actually, before I do this race, because I'm probably just going to reset the race anyways. I haven't had a smoke in like an hour and a half. So I'm going to do that first. Sorry. I know, surprise. I'm a smoker. You'll also hear me Snoop Dogg it up later. Or Ice Cube it. Whatever your preferred reference is. Oh fuck, that's right. I need my winter jacket tonight because it's fucking 30 degrees out. All my garden plants are gonna die tonight. I'm gonna be busy tomorrow. Cutting a bunch of stuff down and chopping it up into little pieces and placing it back where it was. A lot of gardeners make the mistake of thinking that they can't just mulch stuff on the spot. I see so many people around here who will, at the end of the year when their garden's done, dig up their old plants and throw them away. Not compost them. Not stick them back on the garden bed to, like, seal it off for the winter. No. They pull up the plant and chuck it away into a pile somewhere else, away from the place where it was grown. And if you don't know anything about agriculture or plant science, you know that plants have to use nutrients that are available in the soil to grow. When you have a plant that grows in a spot and you cut that plant down and you move it to a different area, what are you doing? Not only are you moving the plant, but you're also moving everything that plant used to build itself up to a different zone where that stuff wasn't located before. Ooh, the owl's out tonight. You won't be able to hear it on mic, I don't think. I don't think he's close enough. Gives me the goosebumps every time I hear him. Great horned owl. The people who live near where that owl must be are either really excited to have it near them or scared shitless like some people get. I get goosebumps from it just because I've seen what owls can do. I'm not scared of owls. The thing could be in the maple tree in my yard and I wouldn't care. But just the dead silence and then just hearing it is just eerie because of stupid fucking movies programming it into you like that. They don't attack humans. I've been next to too many of them. Owls don't disappear during the day. They just don't fly that much. But around here, where I used to go fishing all the time, there was a train trestle, and you had to walk through this like open cut area of forestry. And if you were walking with someone and talking, the owls, who have a very keen sense of hearing, will hear you, and you'll see them with their like 80-inch or something wingspan fly from tree to tree and then perch up and just stare at you from a distance and just watch you move along the rest of the train trestle. I had one eyeballing me and a friend of mine for probably 15 minutes as we walked along this train trestle. So people who say that they're not like active during the day and they're fully nocturnal animals is complete bullshit. They stay most active at night for hunting purposes. Sorry, 1 second. My neighbor just pulled in.
Turn that monster you're driving loose. Let's show them you can handle that much car.
Dance, here I come.
Oh yeah, sorry. Fuck, I forgot I muted my mic. Fuck. That entire race I was like complaining about the AI hitting me in the ass.
Channel your inner drive.
And I had said thanks for subscribing to that other dude. I'm so sorry. Thank you for asking me though. Because I would have just sat here and been a dumbass otherwise.
You've got the edge. Now keep it sharp.
Easier said than done when you're me, lady. Especially when you're racing a truck against a Ferrari. I knew I'd fuck that up too. God damn it. Well. Oh, it's not even the Ferrari that's up next to me. It's the Corvette, of course. He was inside of me. He became a part of me. It became that Korn song for a second. Something takes a part of me. Something I will never sing. There's the Ferrari. You're too fast. Broken. It's so unfair, man.
2, 1.
I don't have that acceleration in a box with a wing on it. Someone tell the guy to get out of his cardboard box and get in his actual race car. But Dad, I like racing my cardboard box. Son, you're a nuisance to all the actual cars on the track. No, there shall be no Lamborghini cutoffs. Fuck, I braked. I always brake too late. You're too late. Brake earlier. Much better. Well, it's literally just a NASCAR truck. I don't even think NASCAR trucks actually have lights on them in real life. Car Quest. I know that might look like it's a computer-made skin or something like that, but this is a player-made skin based off of a real truck. This is the Ferrari that was in that other race. Oh yeah, that's right. When you look backwards in this, you can't see anything. And you can't see anything when you're looking forward out of it either. That's half of the challenge of racing this thing.
2, 1.
I always like to race them in first person just to see what it'd be like to actually be in the vehicle when trying to pilot it around a bunch of other vehicles. Oh yeah, can't see anything, that's right. And rear view mirrors don't work if you haven't already noticed. They're really blurry and low resolution. I gotta stop going at cruise speed. I sometimes keep thinking that they're only hard mode. But ace mode actually made it well, not difficult, but actually made it take more than just being a lazy asshole to win now.
guess every little piece was in place.
Of course, the guy in the Lamborghini always has the least control of his vehicle on the track. Because it's a Lamborghini. I don't have one, because I don't like them. They're for goons. Oops. Whoops. I forgot how much this thing steers with a little tiny bit of steering input. See, the thing you don't realize, because you're not watching my controller, is a lot of the time I'm not even pressing the analog stick all the way left. I'm only pressing it a tiny little bit to the side. There, I should have did a little bit more. Well, actually, I should have braked early, but I'm a fucking idiot. I did it better last time. I wish I was that popular. Not really, though. Life is a nightmare once you're popular. Then eventually your entire life just becomes you doing shit that you don't want to do. But you have to. At least if you want to stay relevant. Why so many tires, dude? J-bong. Oh, I need... You know what I need? Another sody pack. Gotta have my packs. When you distort the English language to such a demeanor that if someone heard you off kilter, you wouldn't even... You'd be like, what the hell does he mean he only likes his paps? Is he talking about his dad? Wrong. Excuse me. I didn't want to say excuse me after the first one, because then I would have had to be the asshole who did it 2 more times. And it's like, nah, just 1. Everybody gets 1.
You could totally catch him, can't you?
Who do you think you are? I am! that car would make you so sick. Sure. This used to be called Papa John's Challenge, but they lost the sponsorship. I'm going to remind everyone of that every single time I play this game.
3,
High, low,
2,
H low,
1.
rhythm, Aurora, I think is what you're going for there. Uh... Oh wait, that's right. I forgot to change the category over to street race. Now I was just looking at the touring cars like an idiot.
Look at the hot shot rookie. Things they
Oh
can
well.
3, 2, 1.
Wow, your sleeper car just woke up in a big way. That car's really moving.
You know these canals. If you're still there, Teddy. It's the same canals that are in GTA 5. That just shows you the graphical differences in between this game and that game. This is the same place. This is LA. What is Los Santos, effectively. And this is what I mean by how driving around just isn't the same in this game. It's like, yeah, you get the whole map of America, but it's like really shitty versions of all the places. Instead of just being a good map of one place.
your sleeper car just woke up in a big way.
I know I was right to pick you. King of the streets just got popped.
Charge cable go.
Give it a little go juice.
Right. fucked that up. That shows you just how much weight distribution matters when it comes to handling this thing properly. Alright, as much as I want to keep streaming, I'm getting too tired to do so. So I'm gonna hop off here. I'm just gonna load back to the home. It's just what I like to do before I close the game. But I should be back tomorrow night around the same time. We'll see. Depends on how I feel, but I'll be back. Peace out, everyone.